Hey everyone, following on from my last video, today I'm going to go through how to set up a Zap to sync information from Monday.com into HubSpot or any other kind of CRM or spreadsheet or any other tool or software you want to sync to and send information to. Essentially what we're going to do here, we have our contacts board that we set up in the last YouTube video that we did. And basically the Zap creates new contacts when they're added to HubSpot. So it'll then add it as a line or as an item here in Monday.com. And so what we want to do today is do the reverse of this. So when a change happens in the contacts item list here in the contacts board, we make a change to a contact, then have that automatically update HubSpot and the HubSpot contact. And we're going to do that using the unique identifier, which is the email address of the contact in Monday.com and in HubSpot. So we'll create that contact or update that contact in HubSpot when we make a change here in Monday.com. So this is the HubSpot, how it looks, and the contact section. This is Monday.com, and you can see here the contacts. So we're going to start by using Zapier's AI to help us build this Zap. And we're going to say when an item is updated, let's say created or updated in Monday.com, then create or update a contact in HubSpot. Great. So we've got this Zap, sync Monday.com items with HubSpot contacts, new item in board, create or update. Okay, this is close to what we want, but we actually want when an item's updated rather than a new item. We could actually have a Zap for each case, potentially. New item or updated item. Let's have a look here, but we're going to choose this. Any column value is changed in the board instead. So we're basically saying if this is changed or company's changed or title is changed, etc., any of these, then change the Zap, then trigger the Zap, any column. The risk of this, what we're setting up today, is that you have to remember that if you've set up another Zap that will automatically sync and create new contacts here from HubSpot, let's say, a contact gets updated here in HubSpot, when it's created here, that can also potentially trigger this Zap that we're working on today, and it creates a kind of a loop effect where one Zap triggers the next Zap, which triggers that original Zap again, and so on. So you need to be a bit careful when setting up the different Zaps that you're not creating a loop like that. In this case, we're just creating one side of this process, so this simple Zap, so it shouldn't be a problem, but just important to keep that in mind. The other thing as well to keep in mind is that sometimes there can be a lot of updates triggered, and it may be too many cases where Monday.com is triggering, because someone's making lots of changes to a sheet and it's triggering. So you may also want to limit this with a filter in Zapier, potentially a filter to only trigger when, say, someone changes their name or the email address or something like that, or they tick a box which says update row or whatever, something like that, so that you don't end up with 1,000 little updates running through. Okay, so let's jump in. Basically, we've got any column added. We select our account. This is the one we set up in the other YouTube video we went through. So we continue that. We're going to select the contacts board, continue, test the trigger, and we get our details. So we've got Michael Johnson here. And you'll notice in the contacts in this template that we're using in Monday.com, contacts are added in with the first name, last name, both together in one field. So we can't actually easily just pull this straight in to create a new contact in HubSpot, because in HubSpot, we want to separate them out by first name and last name. So instead, we're going to add in a separate step here, a formatting step, so that we can take the first name and last name from this name here. I'm going to do it in the most simple fashion I can to demonstrate this Zap. So let me show you that. So we have our creator update contact. We choose our HubSpot account, and now we can add in the email that we've got from that trigger step email. And then if we want to add in, say, first name, if we go to the first name property here, you can see from the details we've got, we can't actually select the first name because it's a full name. So instead, we're going to use this little HubSpot AI feature, and we're going to say split name into first name and last name. And this is going to automatically create our formatter step. We can see here. So just to go back to the start here, we've got the formatter step with text, and then it takes the action to split the text. First name, last name. It's going to split it based on the space. You can see here, it defaults to the space. So it's splitting it based on the space existing here. So you just need to keep in mind that this may split it. If the name has 3 parts or 4 parts or something, it might split it into 4 pieces. It won't know naturally what is a first name. It'll just assume the first word is the first name. So we're using that as an assumption in this process, and it's going to pull all of that out into separate fields. So I might do another video another time to explain more about splitting names. Because it is a bit complicated, but for today we'll just split it into 2 parts, and we end up with Michael Johnson there. So now we've got this name, we can add it in as the action in the action step. Now we're at the HubSpot stage, so let's find that first name again, and we then can throw in the first name, and we find last name. Let's close this for a sec. Last name, here it is. Oops, we want to go like this. Last name. We might also want to get company name, and we'll find that in the first trigger step. Text snap, that's the company name. And then we're on job title. Same thing. Oops, sorry, we'll look in the first trigger step. Job title, CFO, like that. Okay, so now we're just going to go with that for now. So we're going email, name, job title, and the company name. But you could also add in any other details you want to put in or update in HubSpot. And then we can do a test step just to see that's all connected up properly. Okay, looks good. Let's have a look at that. In HubSpot, yep, it's this one. So we've got Michael Johnson. So we've got Michael Johnson, and we can then see, let's say we want to add another contact, and let's see what happens. So we'll turn on the Zap. Let's publish this Zap. And now we're going to create a new contact in this account here. So we'll say Mary Kimball, company is LinkedIn, CEO, lead, low, and the email is mkimball@linkedin.com. Okay, so now we've added all the details. Now let's see about the Zap. We can look at the Zap runs to see when anything is running. And we can see here one successful Zap that is run through. Let's have a look at the data out. Mary Kimball, LinkedIn, and the email. That's great. So you've got to make sure when you're adding a new contact or you're adding details, you do it all in sort of a quick succession, because each time a column is updated, it will potentially run the Zap. And so you want to make sure that you're getting all the details in one go. So now we've got that detail. Now let's make a change. Well, actually, let's check if it's created this contact in HubSpot. Yes, there we go. Mary Kimball. And we can see CEO LinkedIn, the email address. Beautiful. So then if we were to change this in Monday, let's say she's changed her name to Marathon. Mary Marathon. She's moved companies, Snap. Oops. And she's joined their CEO as a CEO. Let's say CFO as well. Now let's go back into Zapier, have a look at the history of the run, and we can see it's run again. And let's have a look at the update. CFO. And oh yeah, the email address didn't change. So we can see that the company name has been updated to Snap. Like this. We got these changes coming through. And then we can see that it hasn't updated the company. This is the HubSpot Company Association, because her email address is still at linkedin.com. So it's assuming linkedin.com is the correct, location for this contact. So that's interesting. So let's do one more test, and let's say we change her email address, and we'll show what happens with that. So let's try adding this way, and it is mary@snap.com. And so rather than updating this contact, because the email address is the unique identifier, this should create a new contact in HubSpot. So let's have a look at Zapier again, and let's refresh the history. Okay, and now we see this. Looks like it's come through. Yep. Okay, let's have a quick look in HubSpot. And here's the new contact. So it assumes a new email address is a new contact. So that's why it's created a separate one. It hasn't updated Mary at LinkedIn. It's just created a new contact, Mary at Snap. So that's it. So let me know if that's helpful. If that's useful, please feel free to like the video and also share any comments or questions, anything else I can explain about this or any other topics that I can cover in the future. And if you like this content and want to see more things around HubSpot and Zapier and perhaps Monday.com or other task management tools and other digital software, online, digital marketing and sales, then please feel free to subscribe and it would be great to hear from you. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day. Okay, cheers.